Hey there guys, I am back out in Leland, Michigan, up on the Leland Peninsula. It is springtime, a beautiful, gorgeous day. Things are blooming, birds are chirping. We're doing a walkthrough, check-in on this project that is going really, really well. Thought we'd take you guys along for a ride. Last time I was here, I was ice skating down this driveway. It was in the middle of winter, so it's really cool to see how far this one has come as we prepare for planting. Next week, the first big delivery of trees is showing up. It's pretty sweet. Let's dive in. All right, so this job site is right off of M22, an iconic, classic, beautiful, big loop road drive that goes up through the Leland Peninsula here in northern Michigan. And right now, it's still very much so a job site. It's gravel, which it will be gravel in the end, but more of a finished, cleaner gravel. And you'll come in through here, and this will be a full-on, beautiful forest. Lots and lots of trees going in, very, very dainty flowering trees, but mostly all native woodland trees that would exist here naturally. So we'll have a lot of different evergreen species, some beautiful white pine and maple, birch. Pretty excited about that. So all of those trees and all that stuff is kind of phase 2 or phase 3 because the house is still very much so under construction. But you can see we're using this area as our staging ground for a lot of materials. So dumping boulders here constantly to do some building and shaping, dumping different types of sands and soils and fill and everything out here. And it's a great spot for us to just be able to, stockpile some of that material. Then over here, we've got a stock of a lot of our palletized material. We have all of our flagstone, big outcrop stone steps, a lot of different palletized material out here that we can come and dive into and get just the right pieces as we go. So this has been a really nice area to use for just our back stock of material. But we're getting pretty close to finishing up the back and still have a long way to go on the front, but the painters, the siding guys, the gutter guys, they all still need to get in here and finish out the whole front of the house. So as soon as they do, then we'll wrap around the front and start styling this all out with all the rock work and planting and everything else. But we decided to start with the back first. And as you guys remember, when I was here in the winter time, the guys from Twin Bay Landscaping, who's my contractor for this one, total studs, by the way, rocking this job out. They were here in the middle of the winter in the cold and ice, heating the ground to be able to work, and they built this whole patio space and everything right down on the river around the boathouse. And as you can see, this whole patio space really turned out well. It's not totally finished. All of these gaps will be planted with different mosses and creeping thyme and stuff. We'll soften up every single one of these little gaps all through here. But right now, it's pretty exciting to see the shape of all this stuff as it really kind of comes around. The boulder work, I remember in our last video, they were just setting some of this and some of this flagstone during that time. Right now, we've got a few of these pieces taken out because this utility work here, this electrical work is going to be moved, and we're putting in an outdoor shower here. So always things going on, always things happening here. But so these guys are setting some outcrop steps off of these doorways there, and there'll be pathways out to link up with this final path that comes down to the boathouse and the water and everything. This landing here, I love how casual of a style this is, with this simple one solid stone step here, big enough for a couple of beautiful pots there as you come out. and down into here. But again, all of these gaps completely will be planted. None of this is finalized yet. All this stone still has to be lifted up and leveled out and everything. And all of this edge work here will be chiseled and chipped up so it looks more like this. So it looks like a real natural edge. All these cuts will be chiseled out and chipped up so that once it's all naturalized and rounded out, then we'll plant all those gaps right up. So the next phase in the back here is irrigation. All of these markers here represent where we've got sleeving underneath these walkways. So there's PVC pipe underneath there to run the irrigation lines all through here. So all this can get irrigated. The irrigation guys will come in and stub up all their irrigation through here. And then all of this gets a really, really healthy, beautiful compost planting mix with some really, really nice shredded bark and everything, slow release fertilizers mixed into it so that all this is really ready to go for planting. We have a lot of the big trees coming in back through here. Those will be coming in next week. And so that's why we're trying to get the irrigation in. We want to irrigate, get water everywhere so we can put some big trees in and then get all those on drip irrigation. Let the builders finish out the siding, the painting and all that, and then we'll be right on the tail of them to get a lot of the finer plantings and stuff in, like all the perennials and ground covers and stuff like that, and all the little dainty details. Now this space out here, if you guys remember, we were just starting in on this, I think, in the winter. This big, beautiful circle is for the fire pit. And this right here is a gas line. So this gas line right here will allow us to have a really beautiful stone fireplace out here that we can have on a switch so that you can turn the gas on and just load it up with wood and have gas to kind of start the fire. And once it really gets roaring and you have a nice fire going, you turn the gas off and you've got a great, great fire. So even if your firewood's a little wet or you just don't really have the time to start with little, kindling and everything like that, you want to come out here and have a big roaring fire right away and enjoy the evening. The gas assist helps you do that. So we thought way ahead by running a gas line out from the house and everything, and it's all underneath here, ready to go. Once the project is complete, we'll take down all this soil and erosion control, plant this whole knuckle out with all kinds of mosses, little ferns, little sedges, all natives and stuff. So you're just sitting right here on the river, enjoying a fire and looking out at this awesome, awesome view. Been really impressed with how clean and tight the work is that the guys from Twin Bay have been doing. As they go and finish out an area, they're just really good about keeping everything super, super tight and clean as they work their way on out. And here you can see they're setting, more of those stone steps with that little mini excavator there and just working their way right out and outside of the house. This whole area over here, it's gonna be a beautiful little courtyard. There'll be a really key iconic statue right here in the center that's gonna be lit and everything at night, so you can see it from this big glass hallway that really kind of is a connection between key areas of the house. A guest bedroom right here, everything looking out on this charming little courtyard. Again, every one of these gaps being planted, so right now it's very hard, very cold kind of feeling with so much hardscaping. But once we plant this all up, it'll soften like crazy and it'll really be nice to get all these beds softened right up. Really looking forward to it. But the house is looking amazing. We're thrilled to be a part of this one. It's been quite an honor to work with all the different contractors and the architects and all the teams involved. This is a really, really cool project here in northern Michigan. We will update you guys again here real soon when we dive into planting and starting to soften this all up. Next phases, like I said, are trees and the front of the house. We've got some really, really incredible, iconic specimen trees and plants going in here. So stay tuned, follow along. If you're not subscribed already, be sure to do that. Click that bell so that you can stay in touch with us on this project and many, many more that we have going on in our wild world of landscaping here in northern Michigan, Florida, and everywhere in between. Thanks for watching today. You guys have a good one. Cheers.